What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge. I'm your host, Alan Bell. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. And I'll tell you what, before we get to that, as always, let's take a look at how we did on Friday. Not a bad day. We ended up going 7-6. UCF, come on. Killed us right there on the college football. We'd had a perfect night if it wasn't for that. Same thing, Tom Fernelli, he was on UCF. Didn't score in the second half. Embarrassing. Johnny B had 2 good wins, college in baseball. Same thing with Coach coming through with 2 there. All right, enough of that. Let's bring in the stars of the show here because we got 2 strong guests today. First up, my man, Micah Roberts. How we doing, sir?
We're doing excellent. I'm finding that there's too many sports happening right now. I've got data overload. It's the NFL come in the first week with college football full swing, baseball ending, and of course NASCAR. It's an overload data drive.
Dude, you know what? You bring up an excellent point. Like, first off, it is. I mean, you're exactly right. Like, there is a ton going on, but that's a good thing to bring up because you can be overloaded, especially with your bets, looking it out, throughout a day, throughout a week. Like, stay focused. Like, it's easy to get lost in the sauce there. Stay in your lane, stay in your groove.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I love it.
I feel you, man. Yeah. Like, it's awesome. It's a great time, and it's going to get even better, man. October, I think, might be the best sports month of the year. Buckets, coming over to you. Look at sharp, sir.
Thank you so much. And what a great problem to have when there are too many games on that you kind of have to manage your bankroll a little bit. But that's a good reminder. Don't overwhelm yourself. Stick to what you know. You don't have to bet every single sport out there because it's a lot to go through.
Dude, it's a ton. And I got to say, the wall's coming together nice, man. Looks like the move has gone well. You've got some gear up on the wall. Looks sharp.
Yeah, had to keep Coach happy,
Hey, that's a job in and of itself. All right, let's get into the storylines that affect the betting lines for today. And Buckets, I'm going to stay right here with you. The passing of the Queen. All right, it is affecting the sports world. Now, we're not saying that, let's keep it in focus here of, a person passing away, that we're only worried about the sports, but it is affecting the international world of soccer. What are you seeing? What games have we seen get canceled? All of it, man. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so obviously it affects the world all over the place, but how it affects us individually within the soccer space is all English level soccer games, all Scottish Premiership games, and all Wales Premiership games have been canceled for this week. It is already a very tight, kind of difficult season to get through with this being a World Cup year as well. And something that will absolutely be affected by this is they're going to have to make up those games, and we are going to see fatigue and injury affect these English teams more than ever. It's quite possible we're going to have to see some of these top English teams play 3 or possibly 4 games in a single week to make up all the games they're missing with these missed weekends and with the World Cup already. So it's a difficult time for everyone here, and it's very, very hard on these players that are going to be forced to play more and more in a much tighter span of time.
Yeah, that's a lot. And especially, I mean, when you have everything going on like that, and then you're moving games around, just affecting like your time, right? Like if we changed the time of this show, like didn't say it until last night, it just throw you off, right? So yeah, I'm totally with you on there. Now, Micah, coming over to you, a much lighter topic of discussion here. We have NASCAR this weekend. The playoffs continue. Where are we at? What's the track look like? What do you see in this race?
Yeah, Kansas Speedway. It's a 1.5 mile oval, 17 to 20 degrees of progressive banking around. It's very similar to Las Vegas if you had to compare one. And Las Vegas was won by Alex Bowman, which is a guy you might want to consider. I saw him as high as 30 to 1. Other long shots to consider: Chase Briscoe at 80 to 1. He ran well at Charlotte, comparable track as well. And also Ty Gibbs, the rookie who's filling in for Kurt Busch. And he's interesting at 33, 35 to 1 because he's driving the same car that won the first race at Kansas. And that's something to pay attention to. Kurt Busch dominated that race, led 110 laps, won the race, his only win of the year. He's not in the playoffs this year, but 17 different drivers have won. In fact, the last 2 races, we've seen a payout of 30 to 1 and 70 to 1. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 straight races with winners paying out 30 to 1 or higher. So that could be something that happened there. But I think the Toyotas are going to dominate. I think Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch are going to be the drivers to beat, with Christopher Bell there also, and maybe even Martin Truex to get his first win of the season. I just think the Toyotas are going to be very good. And that includes Bubba Wallace also. He's driving the number 45 now. And Hendrick's going to be good as well. But I just think Toyota's what I've seen on these types of tracks the last couple times. since May, starting with Charlotte, maybe. Yeah, Hamlin and Kyle Busch will have the best cars out there, I believe, tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, our man Trent Wade got a couple. See what you think about this. Kevin Harvick, top 10, minus 170. All right. Joey Logano, top 10, minus 110. Daniel Suarez, top 10, minus 105. And Sprinkle, quarter of a unit on Joey Logano to win the race, plus 2,000. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, Logano's a good choice. He hasn't done well on the 1.5-mile tracks or the 2-mile tracks this season, so he'd be one that I'd be a little cautious about. But he's a 3-time winner at Kansas. He's won twice in the Xfinity Series there. This is a really good track for him. Harvick's the best ever at Kansas. 9.1 average finish, which is tops in the league. 12 top 5s, 19 top 10s, 900 laps led. Like, he has done it all. 3 wins, tied with Hamlin and Logano for the lead. So, Harvick's going to be a player as well. He won at Michigan, and in some ways, 2-mile track, it's comparable to Kansas as well.
You know, it's never bad to be the best ever at a track or at something, at anything in life. That's a good problem to have.
To get him to win to 16-1 is a pretty good price. He's won 2 of the last 5 races, so I think he's got a good shot.
There we go. I like it. All right. Now, what I also like is that make sure everybody turn on notifications, whether you're on podcast, whether you watch on YouTube, whether live, or you catch it after the show, because we have a ton going on, and these are in your feeds right now. The NFL Week 1 preview gets you all set up for Sunday's full slate of the NFL. Our NFL Week 1 player prop preview with Uncle Dave, Prop Stars, and Coach. That is in your feeds now. And then Sunday, our schedule, noon Eastern, the NFL Kickoff live stream preview and the live stream preview at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Bucks at Cowboys Sunday Night Football. And remember, we will also be live normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern, Sunday morning for the early edge as well. So make sure, check all that in your feeds, turn on those notifications. Don't miss a single one. All right, let's get into our plays for today. But before we do, let's take a quick break and hear from one of our partners. And we are back. All right, we have one play on the board for you today. We are going to go with the Atlanta Braves team total over 3.5. That is priced at minus 120. We hit on this on Friday night, and we're going to run it back against the Mariners here. The game is 9:10 p.m. Eastern. All right, Atlanta, they've eclipsed this number in 4 of its last 5, including last night versus Seattle. And the Mariners, they have George Kirby on the bump today, their starting pitcher. However, as good as he's been, the Mariners are 63% to the over in his starts. Not only do they put up runs, but they give up some as well. We don't need the world. We don't even need the Braves to win. We just need the Braves to hit 4 runs or more. All right. Get into you guys' picks for today. Micah, we'll come right at you. You got 2 plays, one in college football, one in the NFL. Break them down.
Yeah, we're going to start out with Wisconsin today, and it's mostly a pick against Washington State. They've got a new offense, a new quarterback. The air raid they're going to try, and traveling second game of the week going to Wisconsin. Not going to be an easy task. Braylon Allen, I really love him. I think he's going to be a strong contender for the Heisman here. He's going to break loose. He's going to do great things. They've got 3 offensive linemen coming back, but the replacements played a lot last year. So I look for that to be a huge edge for Wisconsin. And the defense, a lot of new guys out there, but a lot of guys that played a lot, especially the linebacking crew, absolutely amazing. They won last week 38-0 against Illinois State. Washington State, they had trouble against Idaho. They were trailing 10-0 in the game. They ended up winning 24-17, but they were favored by 21 in that game. So I think this is a huge step up for them to try to do anything good at Wisconsin. I look for Wisconsin to maybe even shut them out. Low-scoring game for Washington State. Big win for Wisconsin. And then I'm going to go with the Washington football team. I like them a lot this year. I think they're going to do well, and most of it is because of Wentz. And I don't know why Wentz gets this. He lost 2 critical games last season to close out for the Colts, but he gets a bad rap. And I'm looking at him. I'm like 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's pretty good. 62% completion. And now he's coming to a team that has wide receivers. He didn't really have a lot to work with there in Indianapolis and still got the job done. You're going to give me McLaren, Johan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel. That is a pretty amazing wide receiver core there. And then Logan Thomas at tight end. I think he's got a lot of weapons to work with, but I think it'll be Antonio Gibson that does the job against this Jaguars team. And finally, the main point is it's just value. You're telling me that these two teams are equal, Washington and Jacksonville. That's not the case. That's the 2.5 spread indicates these two teams are equal. And I'm like, no, I think it's probably should be closer to 6.5 or 7. So I can lay a team less than a field goal when they should be a touchdown favorite. So I think I have tremendous value there, and the better offense and defense.
There you go. There you go. Indeed. I like a great breakdown. I'm fascinated to see that Commanders game. I really am. I'm fascinated to see the other side, what Jacksonville looks like, without Urban Meyer. I like Doug Peterson a lot. Excellent football coach. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right, Buckets, coming over to you, because about, I think, 2.5 weeks ago, I made the announcement that I was finished with the MLS. And I mean that in a good way. I have loved it. We have made a ton of money off of it. It's been a really fun season. The playoffs are coming up. Getting excited for that. But, dude, you're a soccer guru. Like, I'm just a novice watching you, trying to come up. You are the man with it. You got some MLS plays. What do you got, bud?
I do have some MLS plays, and we have a full slate of MLS tonight. And, AB, I feel like you've passed the torch on to me. You've done all the damage you can to this poor league. You have abused and changed these numbers so drastically. I remember last year betting the MLS, and the juiciest both teams to score odds you can find at the time was closer to minus 130. Looking through the slate today, I was digging to find anything below minus 150, minus 160. So this league has been torn apart by you, but I'm still going to help us find some value in these matches here tonight. And the first one I'm going to look at is Charlotte FC versus NYC FC, New York City FC, and we are taking over 2.5 goals here. This is another one of those weird ones where BTTS was like minus 180, and over 2.5 goals is minus 115. These are two teams that do what all teams in MLS love to do, and that is score a lot of goals. So we're loving the over 2.5 here at some really good odds, honestly. Then our second pick, we're going your boys, Nashville SC versus LA Galaxy. We're taking Nashville over 1.5 goals, team total. A little bit of juice here at minus 150. Nashville, if you remember the show we did at the beginning of the MLS season, I said that Nashville was voted one of the 5 most boring teams in the MLS to watch. I think they took offense to that because this team is wild right now. Nashville is one of the highest scoring consistent clubs in the league. And in their last 4 games, Nashville alone has covered the overspread by themselves. They've scored 14 times in 4 games. And a big part of this is because of their German striker, Hani Mukhtar. He is currently leading the Golden Boot race with 21 goals over 29 appearances. I think Nashville is going to continue to do what they've been doing all month long, and that is score goals here. So team total over 1.5. Another great play. Then our third and final pick, we are going for a little bit of a juiced BTTS here. We've got FC Dallas versus LAFC. It's minus 160, but that is juice that is absolutely worth the squeeze considering all these teams do is hit both teams to score in their games. LAFC has scored 12 games straight. FC Dallas has scored in 9 of their last 10 games. These are two teams that within the MLS contain a lot of star power, and they're going to be looking for a high-scoring game here this afternoon.
Dude, I got to say this. Like, I remember that. I was on the show with you, like, when that, like, fan poll came out and you gave the results of it, right? I was like, whoever put Nashville as the most boring is not paying attention. Like, one, this team is fantastic. They play great defense, and they score. Like, people acted like they didn't score goals at all. It hasn't been like this all season. They've been on fire the last 3 or so, including 2 shutouts there. But, yeah, man, like, as soon as you said that, I was like, these people are not watching. That's what I see. Oh, like, this team is good, man. It's fun. All right. So you're technically in the maestro spot. I'm going to throw my 3 picks out here just really quickly. But again, the honor was bestowed onto you. And I'm excited, man, to play your MLS plays. And you're right, dude. It's hard to find value. They got juiced for sure. I'm going to go with 3 plays here. Going Wake Forest minus 13 in Nashville against Vanderbilt today. Yeah, the difference of Wake Forest with and without Sam Hartman is pretty big. Like, Vanderbilt has been excellent in the first 2 games, but don't let all of that fool you. Hawaii is a bad team. Elon is not even in the stratosphere of college football, and they put up 30 against Vanderbilt. Wake Forest should run their business and hold Vanderbilt and put up a lot of points today. We're also going to go, speaking of points, Iowa State. Everyone in the world is going to be betting the under in this game, having seen what Iowa did last week. No. We're going with the over of 40. This is a rivalry game, a big rivalry game. And these two teams, fan bases, they love to fight each other and put up points on the board. Rivalry games get crazy. This is a super low total at 40. We're going to play the over on that one. And then lastly, we're going to go Central Michigan -6 at home against South Alabama. I like South Alabama. Not a bad team at all, but Central Michigan, I think that they'll be too much, both offensively and defensively. So we're going to play those three. All right. Enough of me yapping there. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Let's take a look at the recap here. And we got two of them coming for you today. First, on the non-college football picks that we have, Micah is on the Commanders -2.5 buckets. In the MLS, he's on Charlotte, New York City, over 2.5 goals. Nashville SC team total over 1.5. Dallas, LAFC, both teams to score. All three of those you can find in your books under the MLS banner. Site play, we're going Braves team total over 3.5. And you guys said you wanted picks for college football Saturday? Well, there you go. I've got you college football picks for Saturday. I'll leave this up on the screen so you can get it. Micah, total, he's on Arkansas -8.5. Tennessee Pitt over 66.5. Wisconsin -17. Emory Hunt, Alabama -20. UNLV +13. UNLV Cal over 50.5. Alan Bell, I am on Tennessee first quarter -0.5 point. Tennessee Pitt first quarter over 14. Wake Forest -13. Iowa State over 40. Central Michigan -6. Tom Fernelli, Northwestern team total under 34. Kansas +13.5. Chip Patterson, he is on Alabama -20. BYU -4. North Carolina, Georgia State over 64.5. Iowa State +3.5. UNLV +13. Memphis -6.5 at Navy. Tennessee first quarter 0.5 point. Baylor, BYU over 53.5, and Fresno State +1. Whoo!
No hook 'em horns.
Go. Yeah. What did you say, Micah?
I said no hook 'em horns.
I know.
They have no shot, apparently. I mean,
dude, did you see their fan base this morning? Like,
Yeah.
They were wrapped around. Yeah, man.
how many times have we seen Alabama play non-conference road games?
Not many. Like, they'll play the neutral site ones, right? Like the kickoff one in Atlanta, but like a true road, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's
do this. Let's go.
That's a great question. That's a ton of points too, man. That's a ton of points, and the relationship between Sarkisian and Nick Saban. Yeah, I'm fascinated to see it. All right, everybody, that's all the damage we could do for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. As I said, we will be live Sunday morning, normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be live at 12 p.m. Eastern for our NFL Live kickoff show. And then we will be live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Sunday Night Football to break down the Cowboys and the Bucs. But until then, as always, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.